Mr. Speaker, Canadians shouldn't have to choose between a costly budget and a costly election. They can choose an affordable budget with an affordable life. And we're putting forward the proposals on how to do that.
My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. Let me ask you this. Are we headed into a Christmas election? And I think that I found proof that Pierre Poilievre does not want to become prime minister. As always, we want to hear from you, so make sure to drop us a comment in the comment below or in the conversation. Just join the conversation on our YouTube channel at the Political Orphans. Join us, subscribe, and join the conversation. What's going on, bro?
What's up, brother? Yeah, I mean, to your question about the election, I don't know. I feel like it's more likely than I thought it was a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And mostly that's just by people in Ottawa, how they're acting. Some of them are certainly acting like they think there's going to be one.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting because I'm starting to believe that it is a possibility because that's what the liberals want. I'm starting more and more that I listen to them talk, more and more that I see it as a strong possibility that
I think they think they're going to get a majority.
Exactly. And if the budget right now, just by sensing what's going on, it looks like they know, they've realized that they're going to have a lot of pushback. They got pushed back on Bill C2. Yep. They're getting pushed back on Bill C8, C9, C12. Now they're getting pushed back because they're not doing enough for keeping criminals in prison. They're not doing enough for the budget. So it seems like they tested the waters and they're like, maybe we need a majority to pass the stuff that we want to do. So I'm starting to believe that that's what they want. They want an election because they're cocky enough to believe that they can win a majority. Yeah, and that's what they would need. It
would be great.
They need a majority.
If there was just a giant backfire, and they actually lost. That would be, you know, I think whatever you feel about Poilievre, I think he certainly isn't going to do the damage Mark Carney would do. And if for nothing else, if for no other reason, I think I would rather him be prime minister. You know,
I've said this from the get-go. I've said this from the get-go too. He would stop the bleeding. He's not a leader. He would make a terrible leader.
I don't think he's going to fix a whole lot.
But it's not going to be worse.
Right now, yeah. Beggars can't be choosers at this point. I'd rather someone just stop the bleeding than keep going. Just keep bleeding.
But you'll see. So I got a few videos to kind of prove my points. I got a video from Mario Zelaya. I always mess up. Zelaya, thank you. I always forget his name. But Kenzie Kraken, I heard about it, but I did not see it. I did not look at it. Did you guys see the Pierre Poilievre youth event earlier? It was taking place in Toronto, downtown Toronto. Mario actually in the it literally just finished when I was, or it's still going on right now. Pierre Poilievre, when I was getting ready for the show, was live. So, and that was the name of his event. So yeah, they're there. Mario talks about it in the video I'm going to show you guys. Yeah. But no, I didn't watch it. Not yet, at least.
Guido Sidor, might be your first time here. Welcome, sir. Says there is no opposition in any party. Yeah. That's a good point. I think, and I'm curious to see what you've got to say that Pierre doesn't want to be prime minister. I would say right now, like I'll wait to see what you have, but for me, I don't know that I would say that he doesn't want to be prime minister. But what I would say is I think he doesn't want to to risk it. I don't think he wants an election because I think he's happy to be where he's at for the next 4 years. I think he would rather take the sure thing and be opposition party, very ineffective and feeble opposition for the next 4 years and keep adding, to that pension, rather than now if he had a guarantee he could be prime minister, he'd probably take it, but he doesn't have that killer instinct. He doesn't have that it factor. And I think he'd rather take the comfortable, sure thing in second place than risk it and go for the win. He's not a winner.
And that's my point. That's basically the point I'm trying to make when I say that he does not want to be prime minister. He just doesn't want. He doesn't want it as in, there's a lot of things I've achieved in my life is because I wanted them and I sacrificed everything that I needed.
Well, you have to take a shot
in order
right?
to get there. Yeah. But he doesn't want it. But he's controlled opposition. I've said this from the get-go. He's just controlled opposition, and in my opinion, what he said today, was it today or yesterday, in the House of Commons, kind of proves that he doesn't want it. So I agree with you, Guido. I've never seen you before, but I agree. I completely agree with you that there's no opposition. We have a massive Uni-party in Canada. We've had it for years. It's just the illusionist choice for the commoners. Bread and circus. Bread and fucking circus is what it is. Wise guy, hi guys. I think we're headed into a Christmas election. Why do you think Pierre Poilievre doesn't want to be prime minister? Are you asking or are you saying?
No, I think he's asking. I think
you shall see. I have a video for you. I will
shall receive.
I will just tease you and not at least give you the tip. I gotta give you at least the tip.
Yeah, like I'm sure if it were gift wrapped to him, yeah, sure, he'd probably take it. But it's like in sports, right? There's always a risk in taking the shot. But the true winners, the true legends, they want to be the guy. They want to be the guy who takes a shot. There's always, the beta males, the loser males who they don't want to even take the shot. They'd rather just not. They're like, I don't need the glory. I just don't want to. Yep. And that's just such a terrible, attitude, a terrible outlook in life. That feeling of I'd rather just not even take it because who knows, you might miss. And then when you apply that to politics, I mean, that's not who you want as a leader.
No, 100%. And this is always the part that I find interesting, especially when it comes to sports analogies. Everybody, like, I'm a big basketball fan. Well, at least I used to be. I grew up watching Michael Jordan play basketball, right? And he's the best player of all time, no questions about it. Like the mentality, what he's accomplished, and he had a series on Netflix where he was talking about the mentality and how his team hated him because he's so hard on the other people because he knew
Bryant was the same. But
they were extremely good friends, right? Michael Jordan was like the mentor to Kobe Bryant.
They saw it in each other.
But the point I'm trying to make is that Jordan speaks about how many shots he's missed. Everybody remembers the glory shots and of the buzzer for the end, boop, and he gets it. But he's like, how many times have I taken the shot and I missed? How demolished I was after. He didn't even make.
Probably keeps him up at night, right? Because
read Winning. I don't know if you've ever read. I have a copy somewhere. It's Winning. It's the coach. Is the same coach that the basketball coach. Well, the strength and conditioning. No. He is like one of the best. He is, to say that he's a coach to the star. He's a coach to the top 0.1% of the best players.
A front row seat.
His first client was Michael Jordan.
Okay.
He is the guy that brought outside strength and conditioning to basketball. So he approached Michael Jordan saying, "This is what I can do for you." Michael Jordan trusted him. He had Alain Juan, he had Michael Jordan, he had Kobe Bryant, and in his book, he talks about who's the best between Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. He thinks Michael Jordan's better because of the mentality. He had something that Kobe did not have. Kobe became the Black Mamba when he played basketball. Michael Jordan was always Michael Jordan. He never turned into Clark Kent. He was always Black Jesus. That's how they called him, Black Jesus. It's fucking hilarious.
Is that what they called him?
Yeah, but if you read the book Winning, he talks about the mentality and he says they were obsessed. They would rebuild. They watch their tape and they just listen and they just look at all the little mistakes. But all to say that Pierre Poilievre doesn't have that in him.
No. That's
no,
greatness.
No.
That's greatness. That's
That's
what makes someone great. But there really aren't too many politicians that are great that I can see these days. But there are some that are okay. Some that I don't. But Poilievre's not even that. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that. Whatever that it factor, I guess you want to call it.
That killer instinct. He doesn't have the killer instinct that's required. He doesn't have it.
You want a guy who says, yeah, I want an election because I'm going to win, right? Whether he is actually going to or not. You want him to believe that he can win. I don't think he believes he can win. And he'd rather, take the safe option. And again, that's not leadership. That's not who you want in a leader. And I say that as someone who, if the election happened today, I'd probably vote for Poilievre. And I'm not a conservative. And I don't like him, but that's how bad the landscape is. I'm voting for someone that's not my party, and I don't like him, and I'll still vote for him.
Yeah. I understand. I fully get it. You'll see. It's sad. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm very, as you know already, I'm very saddened by the state of affairs of our conservative movement in Canada. Like as a small c conservative, I don't see the conservatives as being a conservative. And one of the biggest voices that we have is Mario Zelaya. Like that guy probably has 500,000-600,000 followers cross platform, maybe a bit more. And he's a big fan of Pierre Poilievre. Like he was in the House of Commons not too long ago. He was at an event with Pierre Poilievre, and that dude sucks the whole cock and the balls at the same time.
He's one of those access content creators that we were talking about the other day.
Yeah. So I kind of just want to see what he says about what's going on, about the budget, what's coming up. Then I'm going to show you what our Minister of Transport says about what's going to happen. And then I want to show you what Pierre Poilievre had to say about it. And you tell me if he really wants to be PM. So here is Mario Zelaya talking about the election.
So we might be headed towards an election soon. Here's why. Carney has not presented a budget since he's been prime minister. He actually pushed it to the fall, and it's going to be coming out next week. And the Liberal House leader said they don't have enough votes to pass the federal budget. And if we don't have enough votes to pass the budget, that means we have an election. And this is the part that isn't sitting well with Canadians at all. Mark Carney says that Canadians should prepare for sacrifices, which is insane considering they gambled nearly $50 billion in electric vehicle mandates. This came in the form of corporate welfare with your taxpayer dollars. And now Mark Carney is asking you to make sacrifices. Here's the thing about Pierre Poilievre. He wants to see the budget be reduced significantly, and he's holding a No More Sacrifices youth event. It's going to be on Thursday, October 30th at the Marriott.
Yeah, that's what the Kraken was talking about.
Is completely and wildly different leadership than Mark Carney. Mark Carney is asking for sacrifices, and Pierre Poilievre is saying we shouldn't be making any more sacrifices. We have sacrificed enough over the last 10 years.
It's a completely different room.
Look at where we are today.
Oh yeah.
Insanity is thinking that the same hive mind mentality of the Liberal
But listen
Party
to the end.
Actually
the last 30 seconds, which is pretty much now.
New leadership, yes. Same people, same propaganda, same issues. None of this is going away. Sacrifice nothing, and I highly encourage everyone in the Greater Toronto Area, go to that event. I want you all to see, and even if you don't support the Conservative Party, I encourage you, listen to Pierre Poilievre. Give it a chance. And maybe you will, maybe you won't be shocked at how reasonable his policies are. Canada, it's time to wake up and open our eyes.
So I just want to repeat the last part of his message. Basically, he's telling us at the end that give Pierre Poilievre a chance. And Canada, it's time to wake up and open our eyes, right? That's basically his message. He seems to believe also, just like we're talking about, that there might be a Christmas election, which I'm starting to believe that it's more and more likely. Yeah. But you see the way he's portraying Pierre Poilievre like some kind of savior, right? And this is always the part that absolutely bothers me about the conservative movement in Canada, is they see Pierre Poilievre as literally the second reincarnation of Christ, and he's going to be here to save us. He ain't here to save us. But here is what our Minister of Transport has to say, Stephen MacKinnon, about what might happen on November 4th on the day of the budget. That's Tuesday next week.
all of them.
Yeah, well, I don't know if negotiating is the word, but we're certainly hearing it.
Are there any meetings scheduled up until now to the budget?
There have been many meetings. The finance minister, the prime minister, as you know, has had several meetings. Others, in my own case, yeah, we continue to talk to the opposition.
What are we headed towards election in English?
Well, I don't know. That's up to the opposition. I mean, in the case of Mr. Poilievre, he's determined to try and cause a Christmas election.
Remember what he just said. He's saying that Pierre Poilievre is determined to cause a Christmas election, right? That's what he just said. Remember that.
Yeah.
To perhaps, I don't know, maybe avoid the scrutiny that his party's giving him right now.
Giving the NDP more resources on the table to get their support for this budget?
Look, the NDP, I think, have made plain their request for that. You'll have to.
So basically, he's saying that there are maybe conversations with the other parties, the opposition party, like the NDP, the Conservative, the Bloc, but he doesn't make it clear that there are happening. They've made requests, but it doesn't seem like they're actually talking, which makes this type of talk makes me believe if you're not even trying, what the fuck are your intentions here? That doesn't sound right to me. You should be doing, just like Carney should be doing everything possible to sign a deal with Trump, they should be doing everything possible to get the votes that they need to pass a budget, right?
Yeah, the vibe I'm getting from like what this guy, it sounds like to me, I think that the Liberals don't want the budget to pass.
Exactly my point.
I think the Conservatives don't really want to have an election, so it's like this game of hot potato where the Liberals are like, "Here, take it," and the Conservatives are like, "No, I don't want it. I don't want it."
Please don't do that to us.
They're trying to bait them into get an election, but Pierre, I don't think Pierre wants any part of that.
Well, there you go. So we heard about Mario Zelaya, what he thinks. He thinks that Pierre Poilievre we need to give him a chance and we need to open our eyes and wake up. That's basically his message concerning Pierre Poilievre. Our Minister of Transport is telling us that Pierre Poilievre wants an election, and it's basically, if the budget doesn't pass, it's basically Pierre Poilievre's fault because he wants to avoid the January review of his leadership from the Conservative Party, right? Remember, in January, he's being reviewed by his own party. And here is what Pierre Poilievre said yesterday. You tell me if that sounds like a guy that wants to be prime minister.
There he goes, trying to use a costly budget to trigger a costly election. And we know he wants to distract from the fact that this prime minister has broken every promise he's made by triggering a costly election on a costly budget. But, Mr. Speaker, Canadians shouldn't have to choose between a costly budget and a costly election. They can choose an affordable budget with an affordable life. And we're putting forward the proposals on how to do that, like eliminating the industrial carbon tax on our farmers who feed us. Will they take our positive, collaborative ideas for an affordable budget and affordable life? Yes, budget.
Let me just replay that part, and then we'll open up to the question, because afterwards I'm done. But just re-listen to what our options are. Right?
Budget. But, Mr. Speaker, Canadians shouldn't have to choose between a costly budget and a costly election. They can choose an affordable budget with an affordable life. And we're putting forward the proposal.
So tell me, after hearing that, does that sound like a guy that wants to have an election so that he can become prime minister? Or does that sound like a guy that keeps on using, as you mentioned, the word costly? And it sounds to me, and then you guys let me know in the comment section what you guys think, and I want to hear what you think, obviously, Rob, but sounds to me like a guy that is very happy being the opposition leader because he's like, we have some ideas that you should listen to. Why not become the prime minister and implement your own fucking ideas? Just saying. Because they're evaluating that an election, but hold on. Election, $660 million is what they're saying. So, we don't want that cost. Fucking Carney has promised billions of dollars to Ukraine already, and he's been PM for 6 months. Don't give me this shit that you don't want an election because it's expensive. This is that loser attitude. He doesn't want to win.
He's saying, he's basically like, oh, we've got so many good ideas. Oh, okay, so you must want an election then, so you can win and implement your ideas. Oh, no, that's too costly, way too costly. I think Angel 7 has got it right here. He says he said Pierre is trying to cause election. Speaking about that liberal politician, that
the Minister of Transport.
Yeah, he said. So the Minister of Transport said Pierre is trying to cause election, and that is true. Yeah, that's the vibe I get. The Liberals want an election. They want to be able to make it seem like, oh, we're only here because Pierre forced an election, and Pierre's over there being like, nah, bro, I don't want an election. I'm happy. I'm comfortable. I'm good. So it's this ridiculous game of kabuki theater where the Liberals want an election. Because they think they're going to get a majority. Poilievre does not want election because he's comfortable. He doesn't want to lose again. He doesn't want to get beaten, and he's happy not being prime minister. He's happy being the in second place.
So let's take some of the comments, because there's a lot of them I don't agree with, and I love it. I love when I don't agree with our comments.
Yeah. All right, so we'll Dano Ashawaya Saga says, so let the libs call the election themselves. They can take all the shit that comes with it. They don't want it. No, they don't want to make it seem like they're calling it. They want the election. They want to be able to blame Pierre for it, though. And that would be
Mark
ridiculous.
Carney became prime minister by blaming Trump for 10 years of liberal policies.
Yeah.
You think he's going to own it and say, we need another election after I was just elected 6 months ago? Of course not. He is baiting Pierre into taking it, but clearly Pierre's like, hot potato, you take it? No one. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Then that would be bad optics if basically the Liberals would have to vote down their own budget. That would be hilarious, though.
Screw you, Arod. By the way, Nick's mic is actually working nice and clear, great volume and all. Congratulations. All I had to do is to buy a new fucking laptop when my other laptop sitting right next to me is worth $3,000. It's meant for editing. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. My voice sounds way nicer in HD, right?
Yes. Wise Guy says, always double speak from the Liberals, double speaking games. Yeah, and I honestly, I think that's true from the Conservatives too. That seems to be both sides of the aisle.
That's a politic. That's a politic. Politicians politicking.
Yeah, exactly. As Trevor says, all they do is talk each other in circles. Yeah. I mean, that's right. Kenzie says they're already blaming Pierre for the budget failing, which is funny because Pierre's doing everything he can to be like, no, don't blame me.
Just have a good budget.
Yeah.
What a crazy idea, right? How about you present a good budget?
Just present a good fucking budget. Now, it actually makes me wonder if because they seem like they want an election, clearly, if maybe they presented a shitty budget on purpose.
That's my point. That's the exact point I'm making. Yeah, yes, that's exactly what they're doing. Yes.
Just harming Canada for their own personal gains, because if Pierre doesn't play ball and he actually votes the budget and there's no election, now we're stuck with a garbage budget that they didn't think would pass just because they thought they could win in a majority, and that's fucked up, man. That's bad leadership.
It's even worse than that, because no matter what, Pierre Poilievre's getting screwed. He's put himself, by being a weak leader, he's put himself in a situation where no matter what he does, he's gonna piss off people. If he votes against the budget and it ends up triggering an election, the Liberals are going to absolutely fucking hate him. The people that would not vote for him in the first place will be pissed off at him. The Mark Carney supporters. If he vote in favor of the budget, the actual Conservatives are going to be pissed at him because he's supposed to be cutting costs. No matter what, this is what happens when you're weak. You put yourself in situations where people can control you. No matter how you look at it, Pierre Poilievre is screwed. He's going to look like an asshole. No matter what. Vote against it. The Liberals you're trying to convince to vote for you are going to hate you. Vote for it. Your own base are going to say, like, what the fuck? You're finally exposing yourself to be a real liberal. Good job. Thanks for letting us know finally that you are just a liberal.
Yeah, and you could
no matter what,
and,
he's
yeah,
screwed. He's screwed.
And you could say like, oh, I'm sure like the like Zelaya and Mark Nixon will be like, oh, you know, Poilievre's in a tough spot. He's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Yeah, but he put himself in this spot. You know, as
100%.
you said, being weak. And I say, you know, he is weak, and I say that as someone who will probably vote for him. The reason I would vote for him is I think the Liberals. They can't keep getting rewarded after 11 years now of absolute economic stagnation. But that doesn't mean that I would not be happy to vote for Poilievre. But I think he's weak as fuck, and I'd still vote for him. That's how bad the Canadian political landscape is these days.
And I agree with Guido. We need to fix Election Canada 100%, 100,000,000,000%. After the last election where they literally chose not to count certain votes and make mistakes on envelopes right here in Terrebonne, super close to where I live. They made mistakes on the mailing address of the pre-registered envelope that they sent to voters. People's vote didn't work. Somebody won by one vote, and a number of people in that same riding would have voted for the Bloc Québécois, which was the direct opposition that would have won the riding. And they're like, yep, no, sorry, not sorry. We're not fixing our mistake, and whatever. You're going to have to suck it up. So, yeah, I don't trust Elections Canada either.
DNL says, just like with Trudeau, I really struggle listening to Poilievre. Nothing of substance comes out of his mouth. Yeah, he's very polished. He's
I'm not a fan.
Politician. And, you know, you could tell the focus group said, use the word costly, because he said it like fucking 30 times. Yep.
That's why I can't stand Pierre Poilievre, because he sounds like a sleazy like a car salesman. I can't listen to him, but he's a polished politician. He's been doing it for 20 years. He knows how to use buzzwords. Mark Carney is no different. Don't get me wrong here. Mark Carney is just not as polished, but he is still a buzzword. Every single person on that, it seems, in that House of Commons uses buzzwords. But costly was definitely approved by his focus group because he said it like 3 times in the span of 45 seconds. So yes, costly budget, costly election. Canadians don't need a costly budget, neither a costly election.
Sylvie quoting me says, PP is Poilievre's weak as fuck, but I'll still vote for him. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. What a bad state of affairs that the Canadian political system is. But what's the alternative? I'm not going to vote for the PPC. They can't win, and my vote is not ideological. It's strategic. It's inherently strategic. So I'm just going to vote for the guy who's most likely to win, who's not the Liberal guy. My fundamental voting premise is Liberals cannot be in power. They cannot be rewarded for the last 11 years of 1% growth over 11 years. That's not per year, which would be bad enough. That's 1%. like
over 10 years.
Yeah, 0.10% a year. You can't reward. I don't care who the party is. I don't care if you're the biggest partisan hack in the world. You cannot reward that kind of incompetence.
No, I agree. They know. PP's smart in his words. He seems to know he's being baited and saying it. But like I said, let me ask you this, bro. He put himself in that situation. Right now, he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't, as I explained. If he doesn't vote against, if he votes against the budget and the budget doesn't pass, the Liberals are going to hate him because it's going to trigger another election. And we're talking a Christmas election. That kind of sucks.
Yeah,
to have
crazy,
to go vote on.
It'd be great for the show. Great for the show.
Thank you for the content, guys. And we will cover it just like we did last. Yeah. But if he votes for the budget, he's damned too. So the only reason he can be baited right now is because he allowed it to happen by being weak and never taking a stance on anything. Unfortunately, Pierre Poilievre put himself there. Just like we put ourselves in a situation where Trump can take advantage of us. This is we shot ourselves in the foot, and that's what Poilievre did.
Yeah, it's like you can say, oh, well, it's not Canada's fault that Trump put tariffs and he's being unreasonable. No, that's true. But we put ourselves in this position by stagnating our economy for 10 years so that Trump had the ability to hurt us so badly with tariffs. I want to take this one here from one guy. He said, I have a feeling the whole narrative is wrong. Something is not right. I've always believed the election was stolen, and the libs feel they can do it right now and get the majority this time. I mean, I would definitely could be like, I don't think it's unreasonable at all to think that there was either voting irregularities or definitely.
Well, you saw it. It was proven. It was proven.
Yeah, it was.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
But I don't believe at all the election was stolen. I think the libs it won. I think if you could somehow go to every single person in Canada and ask them who they voted for, you'd have more liberals. The liberals would win. It's retarded.
It wouldn't surprise me
that that's the case. But just like the boomers are so brainwashed, man. Like they really, really, really hate Trump, and this whole election was about Trump. I mean, if Donald Trump just never started with the Canada 51st state thing, Poilievre probably would have won. It's just that it gave Mark Carney an opening to go with his elbows up narrative, and that was effective.
You know, again, this to me is the golden opportunity for Pierre Poilievre. If I was Pierre Poilievre, I would be extremely ecstatic right now. I would be talking about a Christmas election already. I would be bringing it to the table, and I would be embracing this and say, guys, look at what 6 months did. We understand you guys weren't sure about me. Awesome. Can you tell me that Mark Carney has proven himself in the past 6 months? He hasn't accomplished anything. All he tried to do, censorship bill, couldn't make a fucking deal with Trump when Trump signed deals with 11 different countries and 27 countries of the Euros, like the EU countries. He's made deal with fucking everybody, but us as Canadians haven't been able to make a deal with him, and it turns out that he rejected his deal. So, hey man, the ammunition that I would have as a party leader, I would go in there with my fingers up, fucking shit up. Are you kidding me? That is like golden plate. Here's a goose on a golden plate, bro.
They should be fucking paying us for political advice, because that's exactly what he should be doing. It's exactly he should, like, Pierre's, as always, or not as always, but as often, he's doing the exact opposite of what he should be doing. He's in there trying to look reasonable and being like, oh no, I don't want an election. He should be there fucking standing up on the desk saying, that's right, we brought this government down. Even if that's not true. He should be saying, look at what they tried to do. Bill C2, blah, blah, blah. Because of us, we're having an election. We're stopping this dangerous government. That's what he should be saying. Instead, he's going to, and if there is an election, he's going to spend the whole time apologetic about it. Oh, no, we didn't want this. We didn't want this. And
hit all the podcasts possible.
Tell them, yes, of course we fucking wanted this. I took that motherfucker down because he was dangerous and bad for Canada. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Canada. Now vote for me. That's what he should be. It wouldn't even be true. It wouldn't even be true that you know, he brought down the Liberal government. The Liberal government brought themselves down. but he should lean into that and be like, that's right, I fucking brought them down. You guys are lucky that we're having this election.
Yeah, you're bang on, Wilf, Uni-party. I say this all the time. It is a very interesting place to be right now because we don't have an opposition. Like the Conservatives are liberals, and it's not the election, and it's clever because think about it this way. It's very smart that they tabled the budget before the end of the year. Because imagine if they said, you know what, we need more time. We've already been we haven't had a budget in a year and a half, so making it wait another 2-3 months wouldn't have changed anything. But you know why they didn't do that, right? Because there is a review in January. Can you imagine if a Leslyn Lewis became the leader of the Conservative Party because the Conservatives are kicking Pierre Poilievre out? She would demolish Mark Carney. Like, that woman stands against the WEF. She stands against the globalists. She's been going after C8, C9. She's the only one that's been drilling C8, C9, and she is clever. I thought she was a doctor because it says doctorate, but she has a doctorate in law. So she's like a super lawyer.
Like a super
David
lawyer,
Creighton,
yeah.
she's a super lawyer.
A regular law degree isn't even a master's. It's just a bachelor of,
Yeah.
of law, and
Yeah.
then you can get a
So
master's.
she has a
and
doctorate.
Yeah.
She can operate on lawyers. That's how she's a super lawyer. But all to say, can you imagine if the budget? No, but if the
Fucking
budget
lawyer.
was on in March, for example, that would be dangerous for them because who knows what would happen in January? Could Pierre Poilievre not be the leader anymore? They couldn't afford to go. Mark Carney cannot afford to go against somebody like Leslyn Lewis. He can't. A black woman that knows how to speak, that has more balls than Poilievre. Yeah, no.
Well, I would just love it so that everyone on the right can say, "Oh, you're not going to vote for her? I mean, you must be racist and sexist. You must just hate women because that's the only reason why you wouldn't vote for her." Because they certainly did that with Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
The only reason you might
don't
not
want a black woman.
Yeah,
You're
the
racist.
only reason you didn't vote for
racist.
Kamala is that you're racist and misogynistic. It couldn't possibly be that she's a fucking empty barrel who never has anything to say other than weird laughter, and she's half in the bag every time I see her. No, it couldn't be that. But Kenzie,
hold on.
Oh, so go ahead.
Hold on. Let's just take the one from Sylvie. Nico, I keep repeating that Lewis, that she was thrown over under the bus by PP and she went back to her seat. Why is she still with the party if that's the ethical? That's a great question. I would love to be able to speak to her. I would love to be able to speak to her.
I mean,
and even if it's just like as a reporter, like behind the scenes, just say, why did you do it? Because she went against Pierre Poilievre in the last leadership race. She called out globalist agendas, like she wants Canada to be independent, like to be Canada first type of mentality. And I just like the fact I discovered her not long ago because I'm always looking for politicians to speak against C8C9. If you don't have the balls to talk about that, I don't like you. You don't have balls. And she does all the fucking time.
She has balls.
So
she's big balls.
big balls,
giant balls.
She cannot, and I don't know, Sylvie. All I can assume is that she'd rather be part of a party that does not
don't think you need to just
really
quit. Yeah. It's not about ethics.
How many times have I heard? No, but hold on. How many times have I heard that people were becoming MPs for their region, for their riding? You remember when we talked to Chris Barber? He was talking about that. He's like, I voted for the conservative guy in my riding, not because I was voting for Pierre Poilievre. I was not voting for him. I was voting for the conservative guy in my riding, and maybe that's where her head's at. She's representing her riding. And as a conservative, she has the best chances of doing a good job. But you know that unfortunately, she couldn't, going to the PPC, for example, wouldn't serve her because unfortunately, Max will never be prime minister. It's never going to happen. No. And for her to go, even if she were to take over the PPC, and fuck, I'm just throwing that out there. There's no reality in what I'm saying here, but it would take her years to get there. Do we have years? No. So maybe in her head, and I'm just speculating here, I don't know her, but maybe in her head, the easiest way that she can get to be in an important role, like let's say becoming the party leader, becoming prime minister, is through the conservative. Because there's only two parties in Canada that becomes prime minister nowadays. It's either the Liberals or the Conservative.
And the probability of her becoming prime minister or put in a position where she can actually implement, some of her ideas is far, far higher in the Conservative Party than in the PPC.
It's strategic, right?
Yeah, it's strategic. And all it takes is just the winds of change or something. And even if she doesn't win and become prime minister, maybe she gets popular enough in the party that she gets, a seat at the table. Now she's a cabinet member, and she's able to, that's how people. It's not just the leader of the party that has power. Like you can have other people in the party if they have a constituency. If she has her own constituency base in the party. Poilievre might have to listen to her, right? And might have to put her in an important position and might have to take her advice. So, I think the idea that just because I don't think she's unethical just because she didn't quit. She just might think that this is the best way to get her agenda passed.
It's hard to tell. But I would love to talk to her. I would love to have her on the show. Even if
Yeah,
it's,
that'd be
you know
great.
what? Even if it's behind the scene, even if it was just a conversation over coffee between her and I, just off the record, I would love to know because I like what she's saying. I really like what she stands for. And I don't have a lot of politicians
I'd
in
like to hear
Canada
more.
that I
I'd like
actually
to hear
like.
more of her. Yeah.
I just get a good vibe from her. I like her for some reason. I like her.
Well, I don't know. So he says it's about morals, Rob. Not really, though. It's about making real change. And I don't see it immoral to stay with the party and try to do like what was the specifics of what happened? I guess first of all, like fill me in on that because I'm not even sure. Well, like this Sylvie's talking about, I think some issue where Leslin was slapped down by Poilievre or
that I'm not sure. As I said, I've only been watching her for about a month or two, probably more like 2 months because of the Bill C8 and C9. But I'm not sure what she's referring to. But I've heard that before. It's the same in the same way as she wasn't really given a proper chance when she ran for
it really depends on
leadership.
what
That's
the
why I
issue
would
was.
I would like to speak to her. It's like years and years ago. I think it was in 2017 when what's his name? The last conservative leader, Andrew Scheer. When Andrew Scheer won against Maxime Bernier, I met him here in Montreal. I went to one of his speech and we talked afterwards. And there was something fishy that went on during the conservative leadership. Maxime Bernier was supposed to become the leader, but somehow it ended up being Andrew Scheer. I wonder if something like that didn't happen, or she just doesn't have a voice enough. Like until recently, maybe she wasn't known enough. I don't know. I don't know what actually happened to her. It just blows my mind. I kind of feel stupid that I did not know about her until very recently. Like it kind of blows my mind because I'm normally aware of, the people that have a good voice, like the people that I could listen to. I was not aware of her at all. I don't know what the fuck I've been smoking because I don't smoke, so it's very messed up. I just want to take this one from Wise Guy because I'm not sure I get it, but at Nico Lagan, get ready for more followers once the election is called. No, I normally lose followers because I lose a lot of followers every month. It's a good thing that I gain a lot of followers, but I lose a lot of followers every time I talk about Pierre Poilievre. So, yeah, I don't think it's never good for me, but who the fuck cares, right?
Derek Sittler says, did anybody notice Carney's come home without an Asian trade deal, struck out again? And then Kenzie says, Poilievre probably should talk about Trump getting all the deals and Carney getting none. Yeah, this is what the opposition's doing. Even if even if it's not like a fair criticism, it's an effective one, and it is a fair one. Frankly, that one is fair. But he should be saying those things. He should be every time Carney, because right now there's a lot of people who are not that engaged in politics. Kind of like my parents, right? They're boomers. They voted liberal. They certainly don't go into deep dives like we do here. They put on the news in the morning as they get ready for their day. And most Canadians are like that, right? They're not political wonks. They're not obsessed with it the way that we are. They don't give a shit about it. They want to live their lives, right? And that's most people. And most of the news they get is that half hour or 45 minutes they watch in the morning. And it would be really helpful if Poilievre, every single time, something like this happened, he got up and said, and he said, "Oh, look, Carney can't get another deal again." Because right now, a lot of people think that Carney hasn't done anything wrong. He's doing a fine job because Poilievre's not out there fucking calling him out every single time he can. That's what opposition is.
Yep.
And I mean, Trevor Benson nails it. Wait, where is it here?
I posted this morning.
His hasn't told him yet. Yeah, that's exactly why.
But I posted this morning. If Trump is so hard to deal with, then why has he made deals with over 11 countries plus the 27 countries of the EU since implementing his tariffs? Yes, Canada, the country directly connected to the largest economy in the world, can't. Seems to me that Trump isn't the issue. Carney is. It's fucking simple. Plus, I was talking about this with a commenter today, commented on one of my videos saying, okay, so what do you propose when it comes to how to deal with the U.S.? Right now, the U.S. is, I don't know if you heard about this, but there's a motion going through in the U.S. where people, not MPs, how do they call them? in the U.S., the equivalent of our MPs. Fuck, I'm drawing a blank right now. They voted and they don't want tariffs on Canadians. They want Trump to remove tariffs on Canadian goods. And you have the Supreme Court that's trying to challenge Trump's tariffs right now. So no matter what, even if we sign a deal right now with 10%, let's say 10% tariffs on everything, if the Supreme Court turns around and says that's not legal, you can't do that, guess what happens to that fucking contract? But guess what happens if that doesn't happen? At least we have a fucking deal, because we still export $580 billion worth of goods to the US. That's 75% of our exports. We need to make a fucking deal, and clearly Mark Carney is not the one to do it, because he is purposely not making a deal and trying to push a globalist agenda. Plain and simple. I don't know how anybody cannot see that now. It's too fucking obvious that he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, and, as Trevor Bent says, if I get kicked out of 109 bars, not the bar's fault. And we've all known that person, that guy or girl who has had has dated 10 narcissists in a row, and every single person they've dated. Oh no, everyone I dated is a narcissist. Yeah, maybe once in a while, but if your last 10 partners have been narcissists, maybe you're the narcissist, right? Maybe it's time to look in the mirror. And the same kind of thing going on. If everyone else in the world is signing a deal, it's just not going to fly anymore to say, oh, Trump's just so hard to deal with. He's actually not. He's not hard at all to deal with. You're going to have to accept that you're not going to get a tariff-free deal. That's not on the table. But no one's getting that.
No. Let me finish. We have 10 minutes left. I have 2 videos, and it's the last show of the week. Like Thursday, we don't record on Friday, but we'll be back on Sunday. But since it's our last show, I wanted to finish with a bit of humor. The first one comes from the Islamophobic CRA, the Canada Revenue Agency, and then the second one is that one's for you as an ex-military. That video's for you. I want you to tell me how you feel about that general and the way that she's acting on camera. So a little bit of humor before we finish. Here is the Council of, hold on, just let me see. Yeah, the National Council, I'm going to put it up the screen. There you go. The National Council of Canadian Muslims is upset that Muslim charities get audited by the CRA, and somehow that is Islamophobic.
For years, Muslim charities, community leaders, academics, and various allies have raised serious concerns about how the Canada Revenues Agency's RAD, Review and Analysis Division, has unfairly and disproportionately targeted Muslim-led charities under the guise of national security. Earlier this month, the publication of a critical report by national security watchdog NSIRA, the National Security and Intelligence Review Agency, sadly confirmed these criticisms and warnings from our communities, partners, and allies. This is deeply troubling. It points to systemic Islamophobia within an important federal agency. For years,
So basically what he's saying is getting audited by the CRA is somehow Islamophobic.
What he's saying is noticing patterns is Islamophobic, because where are all the terrorist attacks coming from, brother? You got to own it at some point. If all the terrorist attacks were coming from Jewish people over the last 20 years, then I would be fully supportive of a lot of Jewish charities being audited. The fact of the matter is there is a ton. That is the primary way that much of the terrorism of the last 20 years has been funded. From Middle Eastern, rich Middle Eastern Arab Muslims, is by giving money to charities that then funnel it to operatives in the West. And once that's happened, and as many times as it has, I'm sorry, you don't get the fucking right to complain. You should be lucky you're here.
But what I find the most interesting is that they're calling for Islamophobia, yet Christian church have burned, more than 100 Christian church has been burned down to the ground over the past 3 years. That's not a problem. Them thinking that we might accept money from terrorist organizations from overseas, which you have done in the past, and like you said, that's how they funnel money to operatives.
It's a fact. It is a fact that
If you're receiving money from overseas, CRA should review you. They should try to find out where that fucking money's coming
what
from.
It is. I don't think at all that the CRA is reviewing Muslims because, like, well, most of the terrorism is coming from Muslims. What I think they're doing is they probably have triggers that if X amount of money from overseas or from the is coming into a certain charity, it has to be audited, and that probably happens with Muslim charities and like a very disproportionate amount. So if you've got a lot of foreign money coming in your charity, it doesn't matter if it's a Christian charity, Muslim charity, Jewish charity, it's probably going to get audited. And frankly, if you have nothing to hide, then
I want to.
What are you worried about? Yeah.
But I want it
exactly.
to be. Here's a comment. See, thank you. We have such smart listeners. Derek Seitler is saying, Nico, that proposal to eliminate Canadian tariff passed in the Senate, but still needs a Senate in the House, plus pass Trump on veto.
Trump will veto it. Clearly, it's not going to get the 2/3 majority to override the veto.
But the thing is, though, is that it shows intent. No matter what, if this passes, because there are Republicans that voted for it. I can't remember the numbers, but they are showing a pattern. They're showing a way, and Senator Kennedy in the U.S. was also saying he was inviting not RFK, obviously, but another senator was saying to Carney, he's like, it's pretty simple. You want to deal with Trump? Remove tomorrow. Announce that you're removing 100. Put all the tariffs to 0.
Yeah,
done.
He gave a blueprint.
Just show intent.
Like, you know what? Yeah, because I saw that.
What did I say? Did I say Kennedy? Did I say Kennedy? It's Cassidy, right?
I believe it's Cassidy from Louisiana. And I like that guy. He's a straight shooter. But he gave the blueprint, and it wasn't. You know, I saw some comments. I think DNL said like, oh, you know, Trump, you got to bend over. I don't know what Trump's deal was, but like what Cassidy said is not bending over. He said lower your tariffs to 0. And why not? Why doesn't fucking Carney just do it? Like we're all sitting here on the edge of our seat, basically expecting Carney's sitting there saying you got to sacrifice, telling us that we're gonna go into some recession, if not a fucking depression, when all you have to do is lower the fucking tariffs to 0. Just do it. Like why? Whatever industry you're protecting is not worth it. It's not worth this garbage economy that we're probably going to have for the next 10 years.
No, it is Senator. It is Senator Kennedy. It's Senator John Neely Kennedy.
Oh, John.
Yeah, John Neely Kennedy out of Louisiana.
Okay, so he is from Louisiana. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but it's. Hold on, I'm just gonna show his face for sake of argument here to give him the credit. But I was watching a video where he's just saying this is the blueprint basically. So this guy, wow, that is not a flattering picture.
See if you can find that video because it was extremely reasonable.
What the fuck are you talking about? If I can find the video, I have it on stack right here. Come on, man. What the fuck, man? I just didn't think we'd have time. We'll play 2 videos. We'll play this one and then we'll play the other one to finish up. I wanted to talk about this, so. Patao, see? Ask and you shall receive, motherfuckers.
Yep.
Here's my point. I don't want to be at war with Canada. I don't want to have a trade war with Canada. I want us to continue to be friends. I made this suggestion to the new Prime Minister of Canada the other day, Prime Minister Carney. I'm going to make it again. And I hope this time he'll take it more seriously. Remember, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to act seriously. If you want respect, you have to act respectfully. Prime Minister Carney, you say that President Trump is not a fair trader. And I understand your point of view. I don't agree with you, but I understand your point of view. You've got to stand up for your people. If Prime Minister Carney, if you believe in free trade, then here's what you do. Make this offer today. Offer to go to 0 tariffs in Canada on American goods. No tariffs. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And challenge America to remove all of our tariffs on Canada. So the people of Canada can sell their goods to Americans without a tariff, and the people of America can sell their goods to our friends in Canada without a tariff. Zero tariffs. Let Canadian businesses and American businesses compete. Competition makes all of us better. That's one of the shared values that we have with our friends in Canada. Let American businesses and Canadian businesses go at it in a friendly, competitive way, and may the best price and the best product win. That's fair trade. That's free trade. And if Prime Minister Carney, if he wants fair trade and free trade, he will make that offer. And I don't speak for President Trump, but I'll certainly encourage President Trump to accept that offer, and I think he will. There's a way to stop this trade war. It's just to remove the tariffs on both sides. Remember what Mama Gump said? Stupid is as stupid does. Let's don't be stupid.
He's always got to add some. You know, there was some one-liner. I mean, I like it. Like, if I'm Mark Carney, what do you have to lose? Make that offer, and then even if it doesn't get accepted, now you flip the tables. Now you've made Trump look bad, and you've given ammunition to. There's clearly a lot of powerful Republican politicians who do not want trade wars, who do not want tariffs, and you're going to give them ammunition to go against Trump. For them to say, look, Canada's being reasonable, and it's even if it's a stunt, like make the offer. What do we have to fucking lose, man?
What he said is a perfect game plan that cost him nothing. Mark Carney has nothing to lose. What's the worst part? What's the worst case scenario? Nothing happens, but he put himself out there to say, you know what, guys? Okay.
He's flipped the script. He's taken away any ammunition. Now Trump can't say...
This is politics.
Yeah.
And the way he approached it, Kennedy is clever because he's like, I don't speak for Trump, but here's some advice for Carney. And if he does that, I will talk to Trump and he will probably take that deal. That is 101. And I love the fact that it's, however you feel about the guy, whatever, put your feelings aside on how you feel about Kennedy's a lifelong politicians. I fucking dislike lifelong politicians too. But you have to admit that he has a good point. However you feel about him, that dude, in my opinion, was bang on. Bang on, 100% bang
anything. On. All he can do is win. From Carney's perspective, he either actually gets tariffs removed and a huge actual win, or nothing changes. But he's flipped the script. He's got the moral high ground now. And that's also a small win. DNL says, no one in the Republican Party stands with Trump. Come on. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But, in the Senate, they just voted to remove tariffs. So there's clearly not everyone is just blindly going along with Trump. There is elements of the Republican Party that are going to push back, especially on something like this. Right? Yeah, they're not going to go against Trump on, the immigration issue, of course. But there's a lot of Republicans who free trade. They are, consummate free traders. And for them, they will go against them on some issues. But it costs you nothing to do this. And there's only potential gains. Your only question is, do you gain a little bit? You either gain a little bit in the sense of you get a marketing win, you get the moral high ground, or you gain a real win where you get the tariffs removed. But either way, it makes too much sense, which means, of course, Carney's not going to do it.
Without insulting anybody, without trying to play somebody up, you're just putting it on the table to say, I agree. I think it could be accepted. Yes, I think it could happen. Because at the end of the day, because it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
From Trump's perspective, you're showing him that respect now, right? But you can even agree, Trump's like, oh, Canada's been taking advantage of us for however long, and the fact is that is true, right? Trump says that in a sort of really obnoxious way. But the fact is, Canada has taken advantage of American, but American largesse. We've taken advantage of it, and it's okay. Just the fact, just that Trump said that doesn't mean we have to just, there's so many people who, if Trump said something, doesn't matter what he's saying. Doesn't matter if he's saying it's right. They'll go against it just because it came from Trump.
I want to take a comment here because I'm not sure I understand what he's saying. The Canadian Patriot is saying they cannot legally do that, guys. Do what?
Who?
Remove the tariffs? Of course they could. Why couldn't they? Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to. And of course, I'm going to highlight that Sasquatch is here. Man, 3 days in a row, bro. You're making my little heart. Yep. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of, there's a lot of Republicans who, free trade is one of their core, values, I guess. So I don't think it's, I don't think it's surprising that there are some Republicans that would vote against
100%. Sasquatch also saying Kennedy could tell you to fuck off with that Southern charm and you would thank him afterwards. Amen. I spent, over the past 3 years, I spent about a year and a half in Texas, Arizona, and Alabama. And I agree with you. They can pretty much tell you everything they want with that accent. You're like, yeah. I love the Southern accent. As somebody that has a French accent, that fucks with them, by the way. As a French guy going down to Texas, I'm brown like a Mexican, but I don't speak like one. They're like, what the fuck are you? They know I'm not American. They know I'm not Mexican. I'm like, what the fuck are you? I don't understand. But yeah, I love the Southern accent, man. Absolutely. It's charming. It's very, very fucking charming.
Yes, it is.
Makes you sound a bit stupid, though. I gotta say, this is the part. It doesn't make you sound intelligent, but goddamn, don't let that fool you. Don't let that fool you, because there's a lot of smart people down there. But
absolutely, for sure.
I love the accent. I'm a big fan of the accent. Shall we call it a day? We are just
let's put
over.
A pin in there. Let's put a pin in there now. Guys, once again, excellent show. Trevor Benz, this is your Snow Mexico. Yeah.
That's how they call them. That's how they call Canadians. Like there are people in the US and the South that calls Canadians Snow Mexicans. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Guys, if you want to support the show, please consider becoming a member through YouTube. You can also support us by buying us a coffee in the QR code up in the top right of the screen. Other than that, folks, lots of new faces this week. We had an excellent week. Lots of great discussions. Hopefully we see you guys all again next week. We're back at her again Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll go over all the news of the day, and we'll talk about what happened on the weekend.
Tomorrow, Saturday, tomorrow, Saturday, I'm live with Jason Levine. We are going to have some... Yeah, we're going to have some... We're trying to book some very interesting guests. So we might have our first politician on the show, because we're not sure if politicians are good for that show. Do you know what I mean? Like, we try to... we want that show to be more laid back. You
have to bring them on and see.
Yeah, so we'll have our first politician. At least that's what we're working on. And we're going to be talking about the Doug Ford of the world, but we're going down the conspiracy lane. I don't want to say too much about it, but we are going to explore some conspiracies that are going on right now, like similar to what I talk about on here, but to have some of the biggest names in Canada to talk about it.
You're going to go in the deep dives?
9/11, so 9 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. And guys, I've seen a lot of new faces. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. I know Guido said that it was a great show, and we appreciate it. So you guys make sure to like, to comment, show up again, comment, subscribe, obviously. Our information, you can find me at Real Nico Lagan on every single platform out there, YouTube included. You can find Rob at Rob_the_builder, THA, because he's that cool, on X. And of course, go follow the official page of the Political Orphans at the Poly Orphans on YouTube. On that note, guys, nice to have you on, and we shall... Oh, yes, Sylvie, not tomorrow, Saturday. Saturday's the mashup, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Thanks, Sylvie. On that note.
All right. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you Sunday.
Peace.